Oh, we got it. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we're recording. Okay, so I'm gonna go through some things. Like this is kind of like a two-part Zoom, and Macy doesn't even know this, but expecting that she will be really doing the majority of the next one, kind of leading into what next week's is. And so basically, I wanted to start off with a story. Actually, I'm gonna start off with an analogy that I heard that literally blew my mind. And it was like, I love analogies. I don't know if y'all do, but it just helps me like be able to like connect what I'm doing to like something, a tangible story, and where you can like see the end result within the story, but also see how it could apply to where you're at in your business. So it's something I heard this weekend, and it was so good. But I know you've heard me kind of like give the analogy of like this business is like you're planting seeds and it's like this garden and all this stuff, right? Okay, well, this is like, this blows this analogy like way out of the water. So it was Bob Heilig said this, and he was talking about how this business equates to like popping popcorn. And he was using the example of, so like when you have a bag of popcorn, like how long does it take to cook? Like 3 minutes, right? And like every bag of popcorn is different. Like some it takes like 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and you never really know when like it's going to be done, but like every bag is different. So he was like, let's just break down the, when you pop a bag of popcorn, let's break it down per minute. And so when you look at the first minute, like you first start your business, you put your popcorn in the microwave, you're like, I'm doing this, I'm ready to go. What happens in the first minute? Nothing happens. And he's like, that's whenever you get like, you first take the first step. You put your bag of popcorn in the microwave, you start it, and there's nothing happens. You're doing the things. Every second counts. Every second leading up to this 3 minutes counts, because it has to be consecutive for it to actually pop the popcorn. So within that first minute, let's say nothing happens and you get frustrated. So you're like, whatever, I'm taking this popcorn out. I needed to start seeing something. I need to start seeing results, and nothing's happening. And you take it out, and then you're like, okay, well, I'm ready to do it again. I'm not discouraged anymore. I'm about to put it back in, try something in my business, see if I can get popcorn to pop. So you put it in for another minute, and still nothing happens. And you can do this over and over and over for, hours, and you would never get popcorn if you put it in for 1 minute only. And the reason why is because the reason why popcorn pops is because it's after consecutive seconds of microwaving. So the same with our business. Like you have to go through minute 1 before you're going to get to minute 2, and before you're going to get to minute 3 whenever like the popcorn is fully popped. And even looking at minute 2, what can happen to people is they start to see the first sign of life. They start to see the first popping, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's happening so bad. I'm going to pull it out and look at it because I'm so proud. I'm getting popcorn. So you pull it out, and then when you put it back in, what happens? You have to start all over before it starts popping again. You have to do minute 1 of work before you get to minute 2 and 3. And the best way to get the best results is start at minute 1 and do not stop until you get to minute 3. And I know it's corny, it's cheesy, whatever, but like it just for me, and I heard that, I was like, that is such a good analogy, because so many times in minute like 1 or minute 2, you either number 1 get excited at seeing results, and so you slow down and you don't reach the fullest potential that you could have, or number 1, you're not seeing the results you want, and so then you either keep opening and closing the microwave over and over, hoping that you'll eventually reach minute 3 without it being consecutive, or you take it out altogether. And so I know it's cheesy, but like when he said that, I was like, that is such a good reminder that to get to that like end result, you have to do like those first few either months or weeks, or everybody is so different. So I want us to kind of leading into next week. If you have a piece of paper, if you don't, then you could do it on your phone. But answer these questions, because something else he talked about was how when you have goals and you want to know, where you want to go, physically writing them down and putting them out in front of you is going to be so much more impactful than just thinking, I really want to be senior gold someday. Like, I want to be senior gold someday. You have to put a date to it, or it's never going to happen. You're not just going to like happen upon senior gold, or you're not going to happen upon gold or ruby or any of those things. So the first question There's 5 questions. The first question I want you to answer is, why is it important to hit your rank? Because at the end of the day, these ranks they're not just like something where you get a graphic to post and you get celebrated. Like, these ranks are something that is tied to like deep meaning within your family. So, and it could be personal. It could be like, I personally want to hit this goal because I want to prove to myself that I started something and I hit something, because in my life, it's a struggle to do that. So whatever that is, put why it's important to you. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small. So for question number 1, write down, why is it important that you're going to hit your next rank, whatever that is. Silver, gold, senior gold, ruby, doesn't matter. And then as you're writing that one down, the second question is to write down, and really you don't have to write this one down, but just think about how you feel when you hit that rank. I think a lot of us will not attach to that emotion because it puts it out there, and you put yourself out there to the thought of, well, if I don't hit it, I won't ever get that feeling. But let yourself go ahead and like get to that point, feel that, what will I feel like when I hit that goal? And you don't have to necessarily write that one down. Just visually think about that. And then the next question is, and I'll slow down after this one so you can write, what is that income going to tangibly do for your family? So whatever rank that is, it doesn't matter if it's big or small. Again, like if you're like, I really want to do a Planet Fitness membership, but I don't have the extra, I don't even know how much this costs because I don't work out, $30 a month, however much they cost to do that. And so that's what it's going to do for me. Or it could pay an electric bill, or it could pay your mortgage, or it could pay anything like that. Or it could just be fun stuff. Like, I want to do this because I really want to, fill in the blank, something that's important to you. So write that one down. And then this one I feel like is the biggest, because this one is like the one that makes me like cry, because it's so much bigger. It makes it seem so much bigger, because I think so many times we focus on like ranks I have a love-hate relationship with, because yes, it's awesome to get that graphic posted and to be celebrated. It is, and it's worth it. Like, you deserve to be celebrated. But it's so much deeper than just a rank or just a number. It's so much deeper than that. So for this question, write down who in your life is counting on you to hit that goal. And like, when I did this for myself, like, I literally got emotional, because I was like, there's so many things I want to be able to do with this income. And don't just necessarily answer this question for your next rank, because your next rank might not be able to make a life-altering impact on the people that you care about, or the people that you're wanting to affect long-term. But right when you hit your goal in this business, who in your life is counting on you to do this? Whether it's your kids, your husband, whoever, your mom, your grandma, like whoever is counting on you to hit to this point, write that name down. And then I wanted to end with, which I know you all know this, but fear causes us to think too big. And I feel like us writing these things down will allow it to be like something tangible that you can see out there, and just know, to get to this point, all we have to do is focus on the next step and the steps that will require to get to that point. Because you're not going to just wake up one day and be what this list is describing. Where like the magic happens, and where it also can stop, is at the next step that you take. And so that brings us to next week. Will be like not intense goal setting, but goal setting like we haven't done before. And Macy and I are going to go over some things as far as like getting that ready, because I feel like May has been a great month. You've all still experienced growth, whether it's personal growth, personal development, or team growth, or all of the above. But I think like May has been a great month to lead us into what June, July, and August could potentially be. Because speaking within like this business and this industry, basically from now until August is like the peak season. It's summertime. People are wanting to get healthy, but also people are not in their normal routine as far as being in school. And so they're more open to something new, because they're not in that like set in stone routine. So that will be next week. And then I want to end with this story, because I'm all about stories and analogies these days, I guess. But this story is, there's actually a movie done on this. And like, I think it would be cool to just to watch, but it's about this man whose name was Robert Bannister. And basically up until this point in like all of history, nobody had ever broke a 4-minute mile. And if you've heard this story, I'm sorry, but nobody had ever broke a 4-minute mile. And so they just knew, like everyone knew, well, you can't humanly possibly run a 4-minute mile. So like nobody had, and nobody had ever done it. Well, one day when Robert Bannister was trying to beat his previous goal, he broke right under 4 minutes. And they were like, that's not possible. That's not humanly possible to run under a 4-minute mile. Like, this can't be right. And then he did it again. And they were like, oh my word, Robert Bannister is the one man out of the whole world that can run an under 4-minute mile. Like, this is the craziest thing ever. And then within that year, so no person had done this up until that point. Within that year, he only held that title or whatever, the record, for 2 months before another person beat it. And within that year, 12 people ran under a 4-minute mile. And the whole concept and the whole like point of that story is because they thought it was impossible. It was impossible. Like, nobody thought it was possible, so nobody did it. But the moment they saw someone else do it and saw him do it and say, Robert Bannister did it, I can freaking do it, 12 other people did it within 1 year, when 12 people defied what all of the world thought to be humanly impossible. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I just think it's such a cool thing with like, is we're all so close and running in this business together. And like, I know that comparison game can get in your mind, whether it's someone on this team or someone just in Plexus or someone that you see in another company, you can get distracted by that. But instead of letting it feel like, well, if she did it, then how am I ever going to catch up? Look at it as, well, if she did it, I can sure as heck do it. So anyway, I thought that story was super cool. I don't know if Macy has anything, or Tess, if you have any thoughts for tonight. Macy can't, I guess, talk because we're going to play over her car speaker. She's saying we're good. Sorry, this was super short. But next week I'm really excited because I feel like goal setting will come perfect as far as next week with, like, I don't remember what's the date next, the 7th, 27th. So that will be helping you kind of get everything in order for going into June, because June will be crazy. Like, with convention, kids getting out of school, it will just be busy. And so that basically next week will help prepare us for the next few months and get goals in place and stuff like that. So super excited. Tess, did you have anything you wanted to share?
I'm trying not to cry over the Bannister story.
Isn't it so good? I knew Tess would like that story. Like, I literally, like, when I heard that, I was like, dang. And there's a whole documentary on this, like, man who did this. I just loved it. I love analogies and stories like that too, because I feel like it just shows like what a person is capable of when they like truly believe in themselves and they see the possibility through others. So, okay, well, sorry tonight was a quick Zoom, but I hope you'll have a good night. Macy, I guess thumbs up or wave if you don't have any final thoughts. Okay, we're good. Hey, how do I stop this recording? Does it just end? It just ends. Okay. Okay. Well, bye everybody. Hope you'll have a good week. See y'all soon. Bye.